Hey nerdy knitters, in this video we're looking at the Kaleidoscope cowl pattern. Right here. This cowl was worked with Malabrigo Meisha, which is a bulky variegated single ply yarn, but any yarn like that will do. I really like variegated yarn with this slip stitch pattern. I think it really brings out the pretty colors. And you'll find a link for the pattern down below. We'll look at casting on and working this mistake stitch rib pattern, and then most of the video will be discussing this slip stitch pattern and how it's worked. There's a couple little things in the chart where we have to move a marker and work these little crossings, but we'll learn all about that in the video. Here's a close-up of the cowl. This uses Malabrigo Meisha yarn, which is a single ply bulky yarn. It's very soft and the colors are simply beautiful. It starts and ends with a mistake stitch rib, just a few rounds, and then most of the cowl is made up of this slip stitch pattern, and slip stitch patterns are perfect for variegated yarns. It really highlights the colors, and I think it's just beautiful in this Malabrigo. So let's work the pattern. You can get a copy of this by clicking the link down below or head to knitty.com and look for the Kaleidoscope Crossings cowl. You'll need your yarn. This one, of course, is Malabrigo, but a bulky weight variegated yarn would be pretty. One skein for this size, this particular size. You'll need 2 skeins if you want to make either of the larger sizes. You'll need US 10 or 6mm circular 16-inch knitting needles, a ring marker, and I've got a sample going right here, so we can take a look at that. And all of the information you'll need is right in the pattern. It starts with a mistake stitch rib right here. It starts out as a 2x2 rib, but as you can see, all we really notice is this one column of knit stitches right there. In between, we actually end up with ridges of garter stitch and a purl column on the other side, right there. This is what, if we were to chart this out, this is what the pattern would look like. I'll have a link down below for this as well. You can see there's that column of knit stitches right there. And then on the reverse is that column of purl, and in between we have some garter stitch. It starts out in a normal knit 2, purl 2. Now this chart uses an odd number. The cowl uses an even number of stitches. It will still work out, but what happens is with this one, it's a stitch added. So when we reverse it and start our knit 2, purl 2, that extra stitch bumps everything over. In our pattern, we follow the same basic format. We do a knit 2, purl 2, but then on round 2, we start with a purl 1, and that bumps everything over by 1 stitch, and then we continue knit 2, purl 2. So that produces this mistake stitch rib. And I think it works really well with this pattern because it highlights that first row of slipped stitches. It comes right out of that highlighted stockinette stitch right there. I just think that looks really pretty. That's why I chose a mistake stitch rib for this pattern. So you start by casting on, check your pattern. There's 3 different sizes. You cast on and you work 4 rounds of basically knit 2, purl 2, but it's offset slightly so you get this mistake stitch rib. Then your last round you'll knit, and then you start the slip stitch pattern. And the written instructions are here if you want them. I just prefer to use a chart. Now with this slip stitch pattern, the yarn that is slipped is held to the inside of the cowl, the wrong side of the work every time, and that produces these elongated stitches along the front of the work. By holding the float, they're hard to see in this bulky yarn, but they're there. By holding the floats to the wrong side, we elongate those stitches. And then what's happening here is we slip that same stitch twice, and then on the 3rd row, it's a simple cable cross. You don't even need a cable needle for this, it's so simple. And then a knit round, and then you repeat that, but it's offset slightly, so you get this variegated pattern. Like in the original cowl here, you can see it moves all across the fabric like that. So let's work a few rows and take a look at how these slip stitches are formed. I've finished row 8 of the pattern and I'm about to start row 9. So knit 1, slip 1 as if to purl with the yarn held to the back, and then we are knitting 3 and repeating that across the row. Slip 1, knit 3. So I'm going to finish slipping and knitting across this row, and then meet me back here and we'll look at the next row. I'm finishing up my row. There's my last slip stitch, knit 2, and then the next row simply repeats this row. You'll see that with all of these slip stitches, it's repeated for 2 rows. Now, if you've put your work down and you're not sure if you've worked 1 slip stitch row or 2 slip stitch rows, there is a way to check. If you turn your work and look for the little float, because you have to carry the yarn across the back of that stitch. And right here, we only have 1 float. So I've only slipped this stitch 1 time. So I know I have to repeat the row. So once I know where I am in the pattern, which slip stitch section I'm on, I can narrow it down. I know I finished row 9. I'm on row 10 because I've only got 1 stitch slipped right there. And when you slip it twice, now you will have 2 floats underneath that slip stitch. Find our slip stitch. There's the first one, and there is the second one right there. They're a bit hard to see. You have to look. But if you're not sure where you left off in the pattern, that's all you have to do. Another tip while you're working this is look at your slipped stitches. If you're not sure if you're in the correct place, they always sort of come out of each other. There's one that was slipped, the very first one that was slipped, and our next one is coming right out of that same row. If you look at the pattern, you can see that they all line up, those slipped stitches. So you can make sure your pattern's correct by making sure they all follow that line. Like I'm about to slip this one, and it comes right out of that first slipped stitch. So I know the pattern is correct. So after I finish row 10, let's come back and I will show you how to make that left cross cape. All right, I finished that row and I'm ready to work row 11 where we're crossing those stitches to create that elongated cable. So to work a left cross, we knit our first stitch. And then that's the whole pattern across. Knit a stitch, work our cable, knit a stitch, work a cable. So we'll knit the first one. For a left cross, if you want to use a cable needle, put that slipped, it's the one you've been slipping, that's the one that's going to move. Put it on a cable needle and just let it hang to the front of the work. Knit 2 stitches and then knit that stitch. You can knit it directly off the cable needle or you can slide it right back up onto your needle and knit it, and that is it. We've got our cross. You can see that elongated stitch moves across to the left. And we knit 1 and we repeat that. Now this time I'm not going to use a cable needle. An elongated stitch is just going to sit right there. I've dropped it off. It just sits there. So I'll knit 2 and pick that stitch up. Make sure I don't split the yarn and knit the stitch. Nope, I did split it. Let's try that again. There we go. So you can do it with a cable needle. We'll demonstrate that way again. Insert your cable needle into that slipped stitch, drop it to the front, knit 2, and then pop it back up and knit the stitch. And if you don't want to use a cable needle, knit 1, drop it off, knit 2, pick the stitch up. You can see it just hangs out there. It's not going anywhere. And knit the stitch. And that is our left cross cable. The only thing to pay attention to if you drop it off and pick it up like that is to make sure you're not twisting the stitch. Every stitch has a particular stitch mount. In our standard Western method, the right leg sits on the front of the needle, left leg sits on the back, just like this. You can see as you look at the stitch, it's open, it's not twisted. The right leg is here, the left leg's in the back. So when you drop a stitch and pick it up, you want to make sure you're picking it up in that same manner. Knit 1, drop that off, knit 2, pick it back up, and make sure your right leg, it's not twisted and the right leg is in the front, and then knit your stitch. And that is all you have to do for a left cross cable. Now, if you look at the pattern, up here we've got a right cross, but things are a bit different. Things have shifted a little. We've got these arrows and this shifting bar. So I'm going to work some more of my pattern. And you can see on these rows, we're still slipping stitches just like we did. That looks pretty standard. And then at the end of the row, we've got this arrow, and then we've got an arrow here, and this cross is coming this way. So let's meet back on the end of row 14, and I'll explain what's happening there. Now, before we work our right cross, I just wanted to pop back in here and say, I believe you can be a confident knitter, but it comes with understanding what's happening on your needles. And with this cowl pattern, that means understanding how to slip your stitches, how to look for those slipped stitches, how to work those crosses left and right. If you agree, be sure to give this video a like. And if you like to get nerdy with your knitting, be sure to subscribe. Now let's look at how to work those final 2 rows of the slip stitch pattern. Now I'm just about to finish row 14. I have 1 more stitch to slip in this row. And then there are 6 stitches here, but I have this arrow, and that is to indicate that we need to move the marker 1 stitch to the right. So I'm only going to knit 5 stitches. And then when I have that final stitch left, that tells me I've got to move this marker to this side of that stitch. And I'm not going to work this stitch. I'll slip it over here, take my marker out, slip that stitch to the back to the left needle, and put this marker back on. And that is my new beginning of round. And at the end of the next round, I'll move that marker back on the other side of this stitch, and we'll be right back in position. But we need that marker moved because we need to work our cross this way. And we need to move that marker to maintain the pattern. So it crosses every which way, but it needs to cross right there. So we have to move that marker over, and that will keep us, you can't even tell where we slipped that marker and moved it. But to maintain the pattern, that's what has to be done. So we've slipped our marker, and now we can work our right cross. Now for this one, if we want to use the cable needle, what we're doing is we're taking that elongated stitch, the one we've been slipping, and we're moving it to the right. So we'll take our 2 stitches, that one we just moved over, that we did not work yet, and this one, and we will drop them to the back of the work. We will knit our elongated stitch, and then we can put these back up on the cable needle and knit those 2 stitches. And that is a right cross. Let's repeat that. We have to knit 5 now and repeat that cross. Okay, we're right there. And if you're not sure where you're supposed to be, it's the 2 stitches before the slipped stitch. So just look for your slip stitch. And let's take those 2 stitches, move them to the back of your work, knit that elongated stitch, pop these back up onto your needle, and knit them as normal, and that is your right cross. Right there. Now if you don't want to use a cable needle, it can be a bit finicky, I find. I skip that altogether, and all I do, I get to the location I need to be, there's my slip stitch, 2 stitches before, slide them to my right needle, drop that elongated stitch off, slide them back, and then I pick up the elongated stitch, pop it on there, make sure it's open, the right leg's in the front, and work into it. And there, I've just rearranged the stitches without a cable needle, and it does the same exact thing. So it's your choice. You can use the cable needle or you can skip using it. I'll show you that one more time. Slide them without working to the right needle, drop off that elongated stitch, slide them back, and pick up that stitch. And if you happen to pick it up and you notice, uh-oh, the right leg is in the back instead of the front, you don't have to, I mean, you can move it around and do that, but you don't have to. All you have to do is knit into the back leg. You just want to make sure that stitch stays open. So if you pick it up wrong, just work into the back leg instead. So I'm going to finish working around this row until I get till my last cross, and then we'll explain what's happening there. All right, I'm on the last cable cross, and we've got this arrow here. If this one meant move one stitch to the right, then this one must mean move one stitch to the left. So let's work our last cable cross. Well, let's work our last cross. I wouldn't say it's a cable cross. There's no cabling involved. There's that last cross. And this says knit 5, which I will do. And now we move our marker one stitch to the left. So I'm going to remove my marker. And there's that original stitch from the last round. Replace our marker. And there you have it. That's all you do for having to move those markers. That's all you need to do. You leave this last stitch unworked, move the marker to the right, so it's all set and ready to work that first cross right there. And then at the end, on our last, while we work all of our stitches, we take the marker out, work one more stitch, and then put the marker back in. And then we're right back in pattern where we were. Pattern's completely maintained. We were able to see, you can see right there why we had to move that. To maintain this pattern, that slip stitch had to cross that way. So we just had to move our marker one stitch. So it might seem confusing when you see it, but when you see it in action, it's not that hard. And then after you finish the number of repeats required for this, all you do is you work a few more rows of that mistake stitch rib at the top. And you can see those slip stitches work right into it again. I think that just came out really nice. I love this color. And then you bind it off in pattern, bind off loosely so it will fit nicely over your head. And there is your finished Kaleidoscope cowl. Be sure to check down below to get your copy of this pattern. And if you like to get nerdy with your knitting, be sure to click subscribe down below.